If you're a last-minute gift shopper, then Instacart is your holiday rescue app this season. No more tracking packages, no more trips to the post office, and no more Christmas gifts arriving in February. Instead, you can just download Instacart to order gifts like beauty, tech, and gourmet goods from local stores and get them delivered in as fast as 1 hour. Plus, right now, you'll get free delivery on your first 3 orders. This offer is valid for a limited time. $10 minimum per order. Additional terms apply. Must be 21 plus to purchase alcohol where available.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Can't find nothing on the radio. Yo, turn to that station.
Showtime. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Ready.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Jeff Lutz.
Have you ever had one of those spasms that goes through your back and into your chest?
You are not fine. You are in constant pain.
And Jason Duda. For today, anyway.
Now we'll get a real doctor's opinion.
It's going to sting for a little bit. Big deal.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
It's a strange world.
Stand by for action.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Bob and Jeff. Jason Dudas here with me today. Bob back tomorrow when we'll talk with Don DePetta, one of the great actors of our generation.
Double D on the show.
Wait a minute.
What?
Where are you going with that?
Don DePetta. DD.
Let's talk about the college football playoff rankings. Because I don't think these people have any idea what they're doing.
Why?
And I'm not the foremost college football observer, but I love this kind of stuff because sometimes it just seems pretty obvious.
Okay.
And Georgia at number 1 makes no sense. None. 0 cents.
Why?
Because Georgia hasn't beaten anybody. You know their best win, according to the college football playoff standings?
What?
Number 9, Missouri. It's not that bad. They've also beaten Tennessee.
Brady Cook, next Patriot quarterback.
Yeah, I doubt it. They also beat number 21 Tennessee. But Michigan has wins over Penn State and Ohio State. Penn State 10, Ohio State 6. Washington beat Oregon at 5. Florida State has also beaten nobody. And I get you've got 4 undefeated teams. They're probably going to be 1 through 4 in that order, right? But
Probably.
Michigan should be number 1.
Well,
Washington should probably be. And I get, but they're going for best teams. But they're so out of whack that we are set up for potential chaos if things go haywire.
when isn't it chaos?
There's years.
It's always
where,
chaos.
Well, if Georgia wins, Michigan's going to beat Iowa. I don't know, Washington, Oregon's tough. And Florida State's going to hammer Louisville. So Georgia and Florida State are going to be in. Except, Jason, unless Georgia loses, right? Now you have Alabama in that mix as SEC champion. But Alabama also lost to Texas, which is 7th, to Alabama's 8th. So now you have an SEC champion.
Yeah.
Right? A Big 12 champion who are now below Oregon and Ohio State. Ohio State has no chance to win the Big 10, right? There's no way they're going to be in the college football playoff.
No.
There can't be. Can there?
Well, there shouldn't be.
You can't rise 2 spots by not playing. And Michigan's going to beat Iowa anyway. But what if Georgia loses to Alabama?
Then do you think they won't put an SEC team in?
That's what I'm saying. But who would it be?
It would have to be Alabama.
Well, Alabama's below Texas. So
Yeah, but
don't you have to also put Texas in?
That's what I'm saying. So if they lose and there was going to be an SEC team in, it would have to be Alabama. Because if Georgia loses this, that loss is worse than the Texas loss to Alabama.
It's
Alabama's
not worse.
loss to Texas.
It's basically the same. But that means Georgia is not your SEC champion. So how could they be in, even at 12-1? But Alabama at 12-1, how could they be in when they'd have to then leapfrog Texas which beat Alabama. Isn't that what
Man.
you're rooting for?
I am.
Alabama to beat Georgia?
In a
Because then
way,
it's impossible.
yeah. What are you going to do?
And then Oregon beats Washington.
Then what?
So now you have a 12-1.
Then you just you put all those teams on a dartboard and throw 4 darts, and those teams get in.
So Florida
I bet
State,
you that's what they do.
Florida State could be left out at 13-0 for a one-loss team. Wouldn't that be insane? Because how do you justify?
I don't know I don't think that you could leave them out.
How do you justify leaving Alabama out or as a 12-1 SEC champion? How?
It's a good question.
And 12-1 Texas as a Big 12 champion. How do you justify leaving them out, especially if you're going to already not leave Alabama out?
So Alabama, Georgia, is that what you're saying?
So they've put themselves it's not really the committee's fault. I get it. You have your
because they can change the rankings whenever they want,
right,
so it doesn't matter.
And you have your 4 teams undefeated at 1 through 4. It all makes sense now. But if Georgia loses, we got a situation on our hands. And especially if Washington then loses to Oregon.
Well, then you got to put Oregon.
Oregon has to then jump. But at one loss, they jump Florida State.
Well, and then
so is Florida State 3?
Do they jump Washington? How do you justify them jumping Washington?
Because Washington already beat them?
Yeah.
Because they're the conference champ.
I suppose that would be the only difference, right?
I guess. And maybe margin of victory, Jason. We'll get back to that.
They could go to points.
What if they
point differential in those 2 games?
Beat the daylights out of them.
Yeah.
See?
There could be
sportsmanship suddenly off the table.
There could be, you're right. That pains me to say, but you're right.
Well, that's twice now.
You're right.
Taylor said it, you said it.
But talk about a mess. I hope it is.
We want the mess.
Well, why don't we? Because it's all.
But if they're going for the 4 best teams, which is what the committee is tasked to do, they're not supposed to find the 4 best resumes.
If Georgia loses, they shouldn't be in.
But don't we have now the 4 best teams right now?
Probably.
Those are the 4 best teams. If they're 1 through 4 right now, if that's what the committee believes right now, then there's no reason for them to change regardless of the results. Because I don't know if Oregon beating Washington, unless it's by a lot, makes Oregon better than Washington. It might make them as good because now they've beaten each other.
So if Oregon beats Washington, then they both got 1 loss. Do they leapfrog Ohio State in there? Because their one loss was to Michigan? Think about it. No, just think about that for a second.
Ohio State's out.
Completely.
They have to be.
Why?
Because they won't be a conference champion.
So you're saying Oregon or Washington, whoever wins that game's in?
I don't know.
Even if Oregon wins, they're 12-1, and then Washington's 12-1.
See, they're not really looking for the 4 best teams. They're succumbing to external pressure because they know if Oregon beats Washington and they keep Washington in, which is plausible.
It is.
Then they'll get, well, didn't Oregon just beat Washington for the conference championship? The committee then would come back and say, well, we still think Washington's better based on whatever, based on they had already beaten Oregon, so we can't really differentiate. But when you stack them up outside of that, we think Washington's better. That won't fly.
Well, no, but my thing is that if Washington and Oregon both end up with 1 loss, then is there a way that you keep one of them out?
Maybe
because
both.
they're the conference champion doesn't mean they're in. Doesn't mean that they're in anymore in this right now.
So if Oregon wins, that would be, I think.
That's why I'm saying then Ohio State's sitting at 6. So does Ohio State actually jump both of them?
No,
they
Texas would. Texas,
because Texas would end up 12-1 if they win the Big 12.
Yes, and they're a conference champion. But how does Texas jump Oregon, who they're now 2 slots behind? That's what doesn't make sense to me. Why Texas is 7th behind Ohio State? Is it just because we know Ohio State can't make the college football playoff, so they can't? There's no way. Michigan's not going to lose to Iowa. This is not going to happen.
No, that shouldn't happen.
If it does, then we really have something. But let's talk about the more realistic possibilities, which are Georgia losing to Alabama. I don't think that's going to happen either, but it's within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, but it's Georgia, Alabama. Anybody can win those games. You know how that is.
Florida State at 13-0, they shouldn't be as nervous as they probably are.
True. But who have they beat?
Nobody.
Exactly. Like, where is it?
They faced Louisville, which is 14th in the college football playoff rankings. That would be their only win against the top 20. Well, they beat Clemson, which is 23rd.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Here it is. Yeah, they haven't beat anybody.
They beat Duke, which was ranked at the time, but Duke has fallen off. They beat Clemson, which has had an okay season, I guess.
Yeah, but they're not the Clemson that everyone
No, they got 4 losses.
Yeah, exactly. They beat a 4-loss team. That's not thank you very much situation.
Yeah, there's none of these teams matter below 8. Even Missouri 10-2. That's pretty impressive that they're in the top 10. I want to give them kudos. And maybe even Bob kudos because he saw that before anybody else.
There
at
you
least
go
on
again.
this show.
Good job. Giving Dad some more props.
I'm just saying, man. It's kind of...
Yeah, I don't know how... Yeah, sitting there... Like, if Oregon beats Washington, do you keep both of them in?
You can't.
Why?
I don't know. All right, give me...
Why not? Why couldn't you keep them both in? They beat each other in 2 close games.
Because
why wouldn't you give them the 3-4 spot?
So who? Okay, I'm going to give you the scenarios. Georgia loses to Alabama.
Okay.
Texas beats Oklahoma State. Oregon beats Washington. Give me your top 4 in that. Your top 4. What you would do as a committee member. This is the top 4.
Then Michigan's 1. That's easy.
Yes. Who's 2?
I don't know.
Florida State?
Well, probably because they're going to be 13-0. But are they a true number 2 team?
No.
That's what I'm saying. They're not a number 2 team. They're not the second best team in the country.
Nobody
they're
thinks
probably
they
going to
are.
get shellacked, whoever they play.
Yeah, probably.
So why have them in there? Because they're 13-0. Right?
I agree with you, but it's the ACC, which is awful.
That's what I mean. I don't. But they're going to keep them in. If Florida State, and it's Florida State, let's be honest, carries water just for the name.
I guess.
Well, but it does when it comes to this stuff. So they're going to be in. But I don't think they're better than Georgia, Washington, Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, or Alabama.
No, they're probably. I would put.
They should be 8.
I agree.
They're Missouri might beat them the way they're playing.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Florida State. Isn't their quarterback hurt too?
That I'm not sure of. That'd be guessing. I'd be completely guessing if their quarterback was hurt.
Yeah, Jordan Travis out for the year.
So they don't even have their starting quarterback.
That's correct.
How do you can't keep them in.
I don't, right?
You can't. So then you'd go Georgia or you'd go Michigan. You'd probably, if Georgia loses that game, do you keep them in?
You kind of have to.
And then Alabama wins the SEC and they're out.
I think you have to put them both in. I think you have to put
Georgia
2.
The winner of Washington, Oregon?
Texas 3.
So if Oregon beats Washington, then
they're both out.
Well, and then let's be honest, the Pac-10's done. So what do they care?
Well, I mean, the teams
committee
might care.
wise. Well, the teams, of course, the teams care.
Michigan, Georgia, Texas, Alabama. It has to be. There's no justification for it not to be. Because if Alabama gets in based on a victory over Georgia, then you have to put Texas in based on a victory over Alabama.
I don't know.
It's tough.
Mean,
we kind of need Florida State to lose to Louisville. That would make it a little easier.
Is
then
Louisville
we wouldn't have to,
any good?
They're 13th in the country.
Yeah, but you get rid of Florida State, then what do you got? Then do you put Oregon in, or do you put Texas.
No, you need Florida State to.
If Florida State loses, Texas wins. Texas is 4.
I've got Texas at 3.
Well, I
and
guess
Alabama at
3,
4.
4. Who cares? Oh man, I don't know.
I don't either.
I want a bunch of upsets.
We need it.
I want to see a bunch of upsets.
See, isn't it fun when you abandon conventional thinking and go for crazy stuff?
Crazy as it is,
right?
Yes. I mean, I don't know. Man, it could be anything. Could be anything.
Could be.
But there's what do you got? There's 14. There's literally any of those 7 teams because there's no way Ohio State gets in.
If Oregon beats Washington, that's the best win of the weekend outside of Alabama over Georgia.
Yeah.
Right? Because Michigan's not going to lose. So you have 2 opportunities for huge wins. That would be for the number 1 team to lose, Georgia, to Alabama.
And the 3.
And the number 3 team to lose. And I have no answers. Washington to Oregon.
And then you might be right. But then, well, if they both lose, then and Texas wins, how doesn't Texas get in?
I don't know.
Even if one of those
Texas
teams
behind Oregon and Ohio State right now really is wrong. It's just wrong.
Like let's just say
the math doesn't work out.
Let's just say Georgia wins, Michigan wins, Washington beats Oregon, Florida State loses. Texas has to get 4.
Yes. But not
But if Oregon beats Washington, then how do you leapfrog Texas over either one of those teams?
I don't know. But we need it. We need this to happen.
Well, we may. It may happen.
I'm excited for the possibility. Because that would make it very, very interesting. Right now, 4 undefeated teams, 4 spots, right? And if they all win, then they're all going to be go.
In. It's going to be that easy.
But we need some chaos. All right, we're going to take a break. We got Santa.
Santa Claus.
Why, you ask?
It's coming to town.
We don't know. We don't know why. This just happened.
I don't know.
And now we're going to talk to Santa Claus at 3:25. You know what? We're going to talk to him only about pop culture.
Santa Claus?
Yeah.
I can't ask him anything?
You can only ask him pop culture questions.
I want to ask him other questions.
Stay with us. St. Nick on deck. Bob and Jeff, KFH.
Listen on the
in a career, your work, every time you look up.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Little Beyonce for you. Max, you good out with Beyonce? Guess not. Really? I mean, you're just an unbelievable singer. That song is called If I Were a Boy. I can't believe anyone would ever, a male especially, would ever roll their eyes at the mention of the word Beyonce.
Did I roll my eyes too loud for you?
For Beyonce, yeah. I mean,
he's a Swiftie.
It's Beyonce, man.
Jeff's a Swiftie.
Dude, you get it, right?
No.
You don't?
Huh?
Beyonce?
Who's that?
Good Lord. Can you leave? I'm just going to do the show
with Santa?
With Santa. Santa's here.
Santa is here.
Made
Santa's in
a
the
much
house.
bigger deal. Why is Santa? Santa sounds familiar.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Do you, Santa?
But Santa is in his Santa outfit.
You?
I came fully prepared.
Yes, I see
Santa,
that.
Santa, try to talk like Santa.
I am talking like Santa. Why don't you try to act like a radio host?
Yeah, good luck.
Like when I go to see you, where are you headed today?
Today, after I'm done here, I'm headed to Cheney. I'm going to see my granddaughter.
As Santa? What's your granddaughter's name? Santa.
Her name is Liberty Marie.
Liberty Marie Claus. Yes. That's good stuff.
All my grandkids call me Peepaw Claus.
They do?
Yeah.
That's good.
You can call me Mr. Claus.
So, obviously, Santa, you are of a different heritage than the traditional Santa Claus.
Well, how do you know that?
I'm hearing you talk, and you're hearing your little colloquialisms.
How do you know what the traditional Santa sounds like?
Well, he's not American.
That's correct.
It's Jeff. He knows everything.
He
knows everything.
And see, Duda will appreciate that. There's certain accents that kind of are universal. That Canadian, English accent.
Does Santa make a habit of calling people by their last names?
Yeah, with Jason I do. He's on the good list. He has to put up with you every day.
He
deserves
Santa,
something special.
Santa, I do want to ask, of the 4 people on this show, Max obviously included, I would like to know who is on the naughty and nice list.
Well, there's a great deal of debate about as to the naughty list. Is there actually a naughty list?
Yes, there is.
I'm not making this up. There's a great deal of debate that's going on in this woke world. Is there such a thing as a naughty list? And I will emphatically say, yes, there is.
I sure hope so.
There is most definitely a naughty list.
I want the girls' names on there.
And now we know who is on the naughty list.
Yes, between the ages of 30 and 35.
Yeah, now we know who is on the naughty list. I've actually heard him make that request before.
So Max is on the naughty list for sure. What about Bob and Jeff? Obviously, I'm on the nice list.
I'm not going to say anything bad about Bob.
Why?
Why not?
I'm kind of disappointed that he's not here. I mean, Bob is the. Bob. It's not the Jeff or the
Jason. Why are you disappointed, Santa? When I texted you, Santa, if you'd like to come on with Duda and me today.
I always enjoy.
So how are you now disappointed that he's not here?
Well, I like to see him get a good, quick recovery and be back on the air. I like Bob. Bob's always been good to me, and you guys have as well. Don't take me wrong. But I was even thinking about maybe giving Bob a text and seeing if he would want me to come by and do a photograph with Misty.
Aw, Santa, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Is that offer on the table for Nettie Harris?
Sure.
Wow, that'd be fun.
I'd be glad. I mean, it has to be at a time when I'm not working or I'm not busy.
Santa,
but there's times I
would
could
it be for all your cats right now? Would you get a picture with all your cats right now, Jeff?
No, just Nettie Harris.
Okay.
I do a lot of photos with cats and animals in general. I did a bearded dragon this year, which is pretty cool.
Do they react more kindly to your southern accent?
Cats are not fun to take photos with. I'll do it. For you, I'd do it.
You would?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's beautiful.
But they are not fun to take photos with.
There's a pet picture event this weekend at Naftzger Park, Saturday and Sunday. I was already told that my Nettie Harris will not be participating in that.
Well, how come?
It'd be crazy. Too many crazy animals out there. They're on leashes. We're gonna have Nettie on a leash.
Does a cat ever do well on a leash? Come
on,
No, Jeff.
Cats don't do well on leashes, but you hold them.
And then they go wild. I'm not making this up.
Nettie would go.
The most difficult photos I've ever done are with cats. Dogs are cool. The flash goes off, the bell rings.
What's wrong with cats?
They are their own individuals. And
yes, sir.
They don't like to be held by people they don't know. Even if it is Santa, they don't like being on leashes.
Now, do you get why I like cats?
Yes, I don't
like being held by someone I don't know.
Cats get wild with their photograph. I do them, but I'll be honest, they're not my favorite.
Well, are you in the holiday spirit?
Yeah, of course I am.
Well, give me a ho 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 or something.
Everybody says ho ho ho, like that's how I laugh. It's that's the laugh.
That's your laugh.
Ho-ho. That's the ho ho ho.
That doesn't sound like a bowl full of jelly to me.
Well, that's because I've lost weight. So.
Santa's got to stay healthy. Duda, do you have a question for Santa?
I'm waiting to hear about the list. I asked a question and Santa's dodging it.
Answered
and I'm not happy about it.
Who's on the naughty list?
Santa's supposed to be like the most honest person ever.
I told you Max is on the naughty list. That was
what
not the first
Bob
time I've heard
Jeff?
this. Bob's on the good list. He can be a little naughty at times.
That's
and
too bad.
Jeff's borderline.
Good.
You're typically pretty good because you make me laugh, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, but you have to decide because
I've got
Christmas is coming.
I've got 23, 24 days to make that decision.
So he's got a lot of work to do in order to get back.
I like hanging on that line.
He's on that borderline. Yeah, he straddles the fence and he's on the line.
And I'm probably going to stay there. Because if I'm on a list, that means somebody has figured me out.
We just need to make sure that everybody understands that if you're on that naughty list or you straddle the line, that's one less present a day until Christmas. But
you know, you're
probably not getting Christmas.
So right now he's getting like 25 presents.
Well, no, he's down to about 13.
That's pretty good.
But he's got a chance to go back.
I have a question, Santa.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
My birthday's on December 21st.
Yeah, I feel for you.
Is that your domain at all? Do you do?
No, I do not do the birthdays. If your birthday's on the 21st, even if your birthday's on the 25th.
That was my next question.
Christmas.
A Christmas birthday.
I do Christmas. I don't do birthdays.
Well, how do you make sure then that those birthdays aren't overlooked?
Those people that are responsible for your birthday are responsible for your birthday. That is not Santa's responsibility for your birthday.
Have you ever taken responsibility for
somebody's birthday
who was neglected?
Not for their birthday.
So you're not a giving Santa. You're not a
Yes, I'm a very giving.
You're not a charitable Santa.
I'm very giving, but birthdays are not my responsibility.
You're going to do your job and nothing else.
Now he's down to 2 days.
I'm not worried about it. He's going to dig his own grave.
He's digging it.
My next question is: are you a human being?
Yes.
How old are you?
Santa. Well, it gets tricky, and I usually bring in movies here, which is kind of inappropriate because I understand that Furches usually does movies and does
your
pop
friend
culture.
Mike Furches.
Yeah, that's correct. There are movies that kind of give good indications as to how that works. The movie The Santa Claus or The Santa Clauses.
Right.
There are different Santas
Tim
there's different
or
different
is that
Santas.
Tim Allen?
Well, that's Tim Allen. It's a movie. Come on, Jeff. Get reality in.
Well, when he becomes Santa, is he Santa?
When he becomes Santa, he becomes Santa.
Okay.
And if you've seen the movie, that's a seasonal thing. Throughout the rest of the year, he's back to the character that Tim Allen plays.
That makes sense.
And during the holidays, he adapts. He changes. So for example, his beard may be gray, or he may be not even have a beard, and his hair be salt and pepper. But then the closer it gets to Christmas, the whiter it gets, and the more he becomes like Santa.
So,
does it bother you when you see movies and other people are being Santa Claus?
No. Would you love to see?
Well,
someone play
you
Jason?
are Santa Claus.
Would
so,
you,
I was just curious on how you felt.
No, it doesn't bother me. I think it's an honor. It's a tribute.
I
like the Santa that I like right now that's doing a great job is John Travolta.
On those commercials?
Yes, he looks and sounds good as the Saturday Night Fever Santa Claus. So, if you've not seen that, have you seen that, Jeff?
I was told it wasn't actually John Travolta, so I don't know what.
That's
to
John Travolta. Whoever told you that, they're probably just got an extra notch on the naughty list too. It is most definitely, without a doubt, John Travolta.
Okay, well, I guess it is. My next question is, in the spirit of the Santa Claus, did you take over for somebody?
Yes, that's how it works. Is that traditionally over the year, and this is, I really believe this.
Well, you're Santa, I would hope so.
Okay, you're wonderful. That the spirit of St. Nicholas lives on from year to year.
Of course.
And there are different people, different characters, if you will, people that take on the persona of St. Nicholas from year to year, of which the Santa Claus legend is based on, and including a lot of reality related to St. Nicholas that transfers over to Santa Claus. For example, the hanging of stockings and putting gifts in stockings hung by the chimney to dry. That's actually a part of a historical accuracy story that goes back with the original St. Nicholas.
So, and I'm going to be critical of you here, Santa.
Go for it.
Because you just told us that outside of your concrete job description, you do nothing, right? You don't contribute to society in any other ways. You said birthdays aren't my responsibility.
He's going to be Owen Pratt. Well, when did Santa become the birthday king?
If someone is neglected, it's not my thing.
Why aren't you filling in for the Easter Bunny?
So my question then is, for someone like me, you know, your moral compass is just do what you're supposed to do and then don't contribute. No. So how do I get onto the nice list?
You have to do good things for other people.
But that's not my responsibility.
Well, it is your responsibility in part to love one another as they love to love people as they love you, to do good to others. And whether you do that, see, my job is not a one day a year, one night a year job.
I get it.
It's a daily job.
365 days.
Well, I get a couple of days after Christmas off.
That's good.
Okay, I get a couple off, and I usually go to the beach or something like that.
Boxing Day.
Yeah,
takes Boxing Day off for sure.
Well, and I don't do the Eastern Orthodox 12 days of Christmas. I only do Christmas Day in the traditional Christian tradition.
Makes a lot of sense.
But the rest of the year, as far as the preparation, the doing good things, there's a song called "The Secret of Christmas." I'd encourage listeners to look it up and listen to it. It's not the things you do at Christmas time; it's the things you do all year through. Is the secret.
Okay, well that's a better answer than I'm not responsible for other people.
What's like saying though that I have to take care of Easter or Thanksgiving and all those other things. I do a pretty fabulous job, or try to do a very good job at taking care of the single most giving day of the year on planet Earth.
That's it. That's the one. You're back on the nice list, Santa. I'm
never
making a
left
list of my own.
Okay. Well, remember that when you make some barbecue.
Does anyone give you presents?
Yes, my wife will give me presents. I really don't care about getting presents though.
Of course, but she wants to give.
She gives presents. My son or
she
my
wasn't
daughter.
raised in your family, so she's a giver.
So, and others will give presents on occasion, but it's not really.
I don't know why I'm being mean to Santa.
You think?
Yeah,
it's not a smart decision.
No, I think Max just surpassed you on the good list,
and he wants all the.
Oh, don't.
It's too bad, man.
Don't.
It's too bad.
We won't go there.
I'm sorry, Santa. I just feel like, we don't get to interview Santa.
Nah.
Ever.
I don't do many interviews.
And I felt
especially
like I had
this time of year.
I got to hold your feet to the fire with some of this stuff.
That's okay.
You're universally beloved, which to me means what's really going on.
You're the hard journalist. It's like
exactly.
Your next job is 60 Minutes or something.
I would certainly hope so. Duda, any parting thoughts or questions?
I apologize for Jeff. That's all I can say, Santa.
And I appreciate that heart of that sentiment, but Jeff's responsible for Jeff.
He is.
Santa, we never hear about the next generation. So you said it's kind of just sort of random how people become Santa. So it's not a legacy. It's not a legacy. You don't have a child lined up to take the quote-unquote throne.
No, it has to. Someone has to do good and have goodwill in their heart about helping others, whether they be homeless, the poor, the needy, the orphan, the widow, whoever. And there has to be that inclination within their heart for them to be considered.
Okay, well, that's a good message. Tell us again where people can stop by and see you in the holiday season.
This season, every day except for Mondays, they could stop by at Cabela's, generally from 3 o'clock until 8 o'clock each evening, except for Mondays.
What are you doing on Mondays?
Mondays, I'm taking a little bit of rest.
That's good.
Trying to.
You should. You deserve it.
It's
Christmas falls on a Monday this year.
Yes, it does.
Does that mess with your schedule at all?
I'll be working on the 24th. I'm leaving town very early on the 24th.
Leaving
Wichita.
Oh, you fly out from Wichita.
Well, he has to go around the whole world on the 24th.
I thought maybe you went back to the North Pole
Usually I would, but since I'm at Cabela's on the 24th, they're bringing the sled down, so I will leave Wichita with a loaded sled.
How is the warehouse doing at the North Pole?
Is that going to be something that Wichitans can witness?
If they're looking to the sky at the right time, they'll be able to.
That's awesome, dude. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, I'm done.
The warehouse.
What?
The warehouse is doing fine. Thankfully, we have a contract with a number of toy manufacturers for the name brand toys because we cannot create toys that have patent and copyright comment or related issues. So we get them at incredible discounts, and that makes things a little bit easier. To some extent, this year is a little tougher than usual because for the last 3 years we've had requests that are very difficult, and there's not a single. The number one request for girls this year, unicorns.
Really?
Yeah. I can tell you exactly what the number
one
request
real
are.
Ones.
Toys.
Okay.
Even toy unicorns. I met with the merchandiser at one of the major box stores here 2 years ago and told them that unicorns was the number one request among children, and they laughed at me until they didn't have unicorns for children to buy, and so many parents were asking for them.
I don't like people laughing at Santa. That's cold-hearted.
Yeah, they were cold. I would mention the name, but they're a major box retailer. So.
All right. Well, you gotta stay. Unfortunately, you have to maintain that relationship.
Yeah, and I have to remind children and parents all the time we do toys. I don't do money. I don't do anything that takes additional payments. If someone wants an iPhone, they need to get approval from their parents.
Do you have a lot of money? Are you fairly well off?
If you story from the tradition all the way back to the
okay, but I'm asking you if you're one of the.
But I give a lot of gifts and I raise a lot of money for gifts.
That's
but
beautiful.
I don't have a lot of money.
Thank you for your positivity and uplifting message and bringing the Christmas spirit into our studio today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Max. I appreciate being with you guys today.
Right.
Bob, I hope to see you soon.
There you have it.
Well, that's fantastic news.
Shockers play tonight against Richmond. That's a good test for the Shocks. They're 6-1. I don't really know what else to say beyond that. Richmond's a quality program. Shockers will have their hands full, but I think they'll win. I think they'll beat Richmond.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that one turns out.
You gonna watch that?
They've been playing
one?
pretty decent.
No football tonight.
Honestly, I might be in bed before I get home.
Well, you want to just take a nap out here?
What do you think I've been doing when I leave for a break time?
What?
I go take a 3-minute nap.
No, you don't.
Okay, you know.
What's
you
what
didn't
is a
see,
3-minute nap going to do?
It gets me through the next 15 minutes of the segment.
Oh, my God.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm not. That's not a welcoming thought.
Yeah, it's a welcoming thought, and just
you have not been
deal
taking a
with
nap.
it.
I've gone out there twice when you were out there, and I didn't see anybody sleeping.
Well, you're not that observant then, are you?
Where did you sleep? On the little couch thing?
On the couch thing right here.
No. Max, did you see that?
When's Max left?
I haven't left.
Just say no.
No, see that you don't do that. You don't. And what was the deal with you giving Santa such a hard time?
I don't know. I don't know.
Why do you do that?
I don't know.
Why do you feel like you just have to?
I don't know.
Santa comes in, Santa Claus, and you are grilling Santa Claus.
I'm cranky. I don't know what to tell you, man.
I got that, Jeff, you know.
What?
I don't know. That's nice.
Fool alert. Fool alert.
I don't know why I was hard on Santa. But I feel like...
Did you do something this year that...
Maybe. Probably.
You know that maybe that you did wrong?
Yeah, there was like some kind of unspoken like little wall between us.
And so in order to make yourself feel better, you had to try to make Santa feel bad?
Yeah, I think that must be it.
That's my guess, and that's too bad.
It is unfortunate.
That's too bad. That's too bad. It should be handled in a different way.
Well, I hope we get Santa back on the show again and we can mend fences.
Well, maybe next Wednesday you could ask Mike Furches what he thinks about the situation.
He did sound oddly exactly like Mike Furches.
He did a little bit.
I was surprised Santa, whatever his actual voice sounds like, which I guess is that he wouldn't want that mistake to be made on Wichita radio in Mike Furches' customary time slot.
Right.
I wouldn't think Santa would want to come on and sound exactly like Mike Furches.
You wouldn't think.
But, I mean, you got to be true to yourself. That's
true.
How you sound, I guess.
That is.
That's how you sound.
You only have one sound. You can try to pretend to have another one, but you
several.
only have one true sound.
I have several.
Like what?
Jeff Foxworthy.
That's not your sound. That's
I'm
Jeff
not going to do it.
I'm not but that's Jeff Foxworthy's sound.
Bob Huggins.
I don't do Bob Huggins anymore because he's a horrible, horrible person. But yeah, I retired Bob Huggins. I have Dexter. I have Mick Jagger. I have Elvis. I have the 50
You have
sock
Elvis?
I have a lot, see?
But you only have one true sound.
I have one actual real voice that comes out of my mouth when I speak. That's correct.
So that's the only sound that you have. That's your sound.
That is.
And that's something that will always just be yours. That's just the way it is.
Somebody's calling us at the end of the show.
Do we even have time?
Who is it?
I don't know.
What's his name?
It's Bob, but it's not the Bob.
Bob. What's up, Bob?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Jeff.
Okay.
Is this Jeff?
Yep.
Yeah. I was wondering.
You can turn your radio down.
Okay, just a minute.
All
right. You work at KWCH. Why'd they take off Sports Sunday?
They took off Sports Sunday because we are focusing our sports efforts more on storytelling, and we're putting our resources toward, more big picture stories as opposed to the kind of little mini recaps we give you, or we gave you on Sunday. Who was your favorite Sports Sunday host over the years?
Well, you did a pretty good job last year, I thought. I don't know why they didn't put you on there more.
Well, I don't either, but that was also a decision that was made.
Michael Swanky's the boss?
He's not the boss, but he certainly has a lot of influence at KWCH.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes.
I just thought I'd call. I'm a first-time caller. And
well, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think you and your dad do. And Jason Duda, I remember him on Channel 10 Sports.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
On Sunday night. He was on there, for 3 years or so?
7. Yeah,
is that right?
It seemed like 3 because it really dragged.
Because it went that fast.
I don't
it
know
was so good.
Thanks,
a
Bob.
great show.
Thanks, Bob. We got to run.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
See ya.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks to Bob who just called. We appreciate that. Mitch Fiegel, Taylor Dugan, Santa, and to you, Jason. I guess we won't be seeing you for a couple days at least.
Need a couple days off.
Yeah, you should. Have a good rest. Max, thanks. We'll see y'all later.
Walk the dogs, school drop-off, meetings from 10 to 3, take kids to soccer, then no time left for a jog.
When everyone else is relying on you, it's easy to put your needs last. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online, so you can show up for yourself the way you do for others. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/positive.